Welcome to YILDIZ Readings 5D. I'm a psychic medium. We are here to do your guided messages for this month, as well as I am going to be covering weekly energy for your zodiac signs pertaining to romance. So if you do want to have a look at those, please click the bell. Also keep an eye on the community tab where I update you of regular content that has been uploaded. Very separately, we have the Twin Flame Collective Energy that I'll be coming to you monthly with, and feel free to join us for all the super chats. So please sit back, relax, enjoy the channeled messages. If you have any questions, please write them in the comment box directly below, and if you're wanting a booking, the information is within the video. Love and light, guys. Let's get into the read. Libra, we are here to do your psychic reading. Now, I have pulled the cards. We are incorporating romance into this, but very separately, I am just doing romance reads weekly. Now, it does depend on, how organized I can be. I have 6 videos left to do. Plus, I'll keep you updated in the community tab, but this is what the normal is going to be, but it is during Mercury retrograde. So there may be delays, so I'll do my very best. Overall, I have had to do your video for some reason 3 times, and it's funny because the audio kept not working. Good old Mercury retrograde. Plus, what I'm finding is, because it is Mercury retrograde this month, moving into it till the 21st, and those Aquarian themes are very thick in the air this month. Number one, it can be conflict. Now, conflict initially in the first week, I would say, is the adjustment of that, and then you're getting the mental downloads. Now, I do see you tying up loose ends at a financial level. Plus, there could be the sacral chakra and solar plexus, like you're feeling really depleted moving into the first week of the month. We did have the higher heart chakra activated, and that was from last month because we had the full moon in Leo. So from a passion-orientated point of view, a pain body experience, you may have been healing those dynamics inside yourself and feeling a little bit nonchalant. As it moves forward, there could be a little bit of nervous energy. Is a pattern going to repeat? Are we going to be okay? This can be within your connections, within your contracts, with your family, children if you have children, and anything you're trying to co-create. So I would strongly suggest in the first week, be prepared. The crystal that's coming through for you is showing you won't have a lot of time to meditate. So you'll have to think on your feet and be able to utilize the old energy of what you had in your skill set to apply it. Now, you may understand this month why you went through some tedious times in the last 3 years. You're going to be able to utilize that, and it will come to your benefit. Now, the ruin that you have, it's really making sense in a sense of nothing is for nothing. But I do feel it's a bit like, the last 3 years were your university, you're moving into the age of Aquarius. This is a vibration 5 year. I recall going through the 555s years ago and everything changed. And I think sometimes we can be very fixated that everything has to stay the same. And I think for Libra, you guys are really under the understanding that, yes, things are always changing. And it's changed you due to that. So nothing was for nothing, right? This rune on esoteric level is connected to gifts, opportunities, partnerships, love match, sacrifices, and obligations. And you can be assessing those things moving into the month of February. And it also, from an esoteric point of view, it can be karmic union, divine revelations. It's like why those circumstances in your past had to happen, what you got from them, and what you're going to be doing with them in a powerful sense moving into 2021. So during this Mercury retrograde, I do feel both with the crystal coming in the reverse, and the crystal is really, it's almost heart chakra, but it's crown chakra. It's saying that you're not going to have time to meditate, but I'm seeing more, you're going to be in the 3D more. And that means your skill set that you have, you're going to be able to apply it. If you're getting to a point you're fatigued, you're not motivated, you need to balance the yellow and orange chakra, and that's going to give you a lot more vitality to be able to handle this Mercury retrograde. Now, we are going to have to be careful how we speak and how we deal with that 5th house placement. And for you, it connects to children, romance, and your creative endeavors, and also your personal luck. So It can be egoic initially moving into it because you're kind of like, I'm doing all of this, but is anything going to come out of it? Yes, nothing's for nothing. You're going to get the benefits out of it this month. But initially in the first week, it can feel like the train wheel's on, you're a giraffe being born, you're trying to move through that. And as it proceeds, you know, you're coming up with the sacral chakra in reverse, tying up loose ends at a financial level, assessing what you do and don't like. But there can be sluggishness. So if you do feel the diet needs to change and things to that degree, really play, especially when you're having ascension symptoms, pay attention to what you're eating. The eating, if it's just at a basic level because you can't stomach things or you find you're going off your food. We had the heart chakra activation. We needed to get into the clearing and detoxing. It's that organ that flows everything around and it's sharing those nutrients, so to speak. Come down to a detoxification, but you can be feeling sluggish, maybe a little bit scared, worried about finances, worried about give and take in connections. And your stability, your direct foundation. So balance the lower chakras moving into the month, and that should help you move forward. Now, I do see you tying up loose ends. And again, I am incorporating romance into this read, but the romantic reads will be separate weekly. Now, there could be some fear relating to a situation. This can be, is a person going to value me? Do they respect me? Do they get where I'm coming from? And I do feel in this romantic connection, there's going to be communication. Some of you may be tuning into previous communication or wondering whether you're going to hear from a love interest, and you may find that you're super popular this month, but most people are going to be due to the fact that it's Mercury in Aquarius retrograde. So we may reflect upon our hopes and dreams. We may reflect upon co-creative endeavors, children, our romantic connections, interconnections, point blank zero. You're a connection sign plus you're a Venus sign. So yes, overall, with your romantic spare, some of you are hearing from a person from the past. Some of you are talking about this, and there can be, we've got to be careful in our throat chakra not to speak from fear, but you may see cracks in a system of what needs to change and why those circumstances are there. Now, I do feel I feel this person's coming in quite firm, and I do feel both of you have a very strong views. But it is coming from a place of love and it's self-expression, it's conditioning. I do feel both of you are on the same page in your life, personally and connectedly. That change needs to happen. One is speaking, thinking, and acting, and I think it's this romantic partner. And you may be very fatigued, very like, okay, I don't have the energy, but it can be coming through on both sides. It's sort of a reciprocal energy. Both these energies are fives. So when it does come to your contracts, when it comes to your romantic energy, all of these things are needing a change, but it does initially feel like a huge burden, and it can be too much coming at you. Now, because your crowning crystal is very Uranus orientated, Gaia source, meditation, keep your fluids up this month, but I do see you almost having to utilize old energy over grabbing and starting anything new. Now, during a Mercury retrograde, you can have people from the past coming back, and there is blue, thus the reason for blue. I'm trying to keep my Mercury on. I do feel you're getting into yin and yang, but there is more fluid movement happening. You may not expect this. This person that you're talking to or end up talking to, maybe you felt they were further behind than you were from a psychological point of view, maybe a spiritual point of view. But I do feel in the first week, you will see that you guys are on the same page. There's something that is going to come up, that some sense of communication, information coming in, may come at left field, and it might have already happened, but whatever that is, it's like you guys are going to be shaking some things up and changing them in life to get the best out of it. Now, because you have 8th house, I do also cyclically see that intimacy is going to be a huge subject this month. And if to a degree you are being impacted by external situations, you're really going to quality control and choose what you're pouring your energy into, although other things at left field can come towards you. Now, in the second week, I am seeing that a lot of you guys can be actually seeing a bigger picture. And again, it can be an eye-opening circumstance where you are seeing either a perspective, a truth, a reality, and maybe being very empathic, and that can be good and bad. You know, if we can control that empath energy, and have those healthy boundaries. We may see another person's circumstance. Doesn't mean that we can do more. Sometimes no. But it can be where you're seeing a flaw in maybe where you put people first. But there can be a circumstance that requires that due to a circumstance at home, in a family, in a connection. I do feel where the energy is called, you're going to put it into it. But it's almost like going to be an urgency. It's like, right, I need to put my energy over here, and I feel you'll do such. But also from a planning perspective, I feel by the next week, you're going to be feeling as though there is going to be proof in the pudding. What do I mean by that? For some of you, this is financial. For some of you, this is, birthing of a new creation for you. That can be a physical child, but very separately, it can also be a creative endeavor, a business endeavor, especially because you have that aspect at the moment. But it's almost seeing a problem. Mercury retrograde is almost like, okay, how do I put it? Feeling that everything was on course and then having a revelation and then using it as a quality system to correct it. And I feel in the second and the third week you'll be doing such, but you still may have a lot on your plate. It might make you feel imbalanced. It also could take you away from actually being able to, and it's going to be, it feels as though you're going to really work in a way where when you're tuning into something, it's directly on that energy, nothing else. So if this is a child, it's the child. And you're going to really be learning to be present in that moment. You're going to be blocking out white noise and actually seeing people's perspectives, pouring the energy into that circumstance to correct it. And it's more than likely due to the fact that by mid-month we are having a full moon in Virgo. So it's the psychology surrounding situations. You may be on people's wavelengths. Try not to, if you are getting to a point you're very agitated and frustrated due to these situations playing out this month, breathe, step back, and, what are you wanting to happen? See a perspective, then look at what you're able to do, and then do such should you and if you can. With a romantic partner, there may be a circumstance in their family base chakra and to do with home that needs addressing. Now, this feels like an old energy that should have been tied up. An old circumstance is coming up. It can be again, wanting to be at home, maybe them being a little bit unwell, however that's playing out. But very separately, I feel you're talking in the bigger picture about what you want to do. This can be a move of home. It can be a future plan. It can also be, again, base chakra. Okay, where is this at? What are we doing from here? Let's talk about these issues. And I'm going to pull a clarifier. Now, I did for the crowning energy because your read is a very unique read. So I can't wait to get into the romance section of things, which I'm tuning into now, but the read romantically will also be separate. So those ones week by week can really guide us to see what can be coming up and what those extension reads are. Ultimately speaking, I feel this planning energy, be it you're together or you're not, there is a change happening. Now, if you're single, this individual I do feel has a family-related dynamic going on, and it could be something at home playing out that is shifting and changing, and it's not very balanced at the moment. For those of you who are in this connection, I feel it's future planning. It's like, okay, here is the problems, X, Y, and Z. What are we going to do? Where is our foundation at? This can be correcting your finances, making a bigger plan, and having a shift due to information and a feeling. And I feel because you have 8th house placement, it's that sharing energy, but it's what you can bring to the table and giving to those circumstances to build upon the relationship. If you feel the give and take's not there, it will have an opportunity this month to get that back, and there can be great passion within connections. So sacral chakra energy is very activated. Look at the wound, deal with the circumstances. Intellect, we can get a lot of headaches this month because it is Mercury retrograde, but dealing with these circumstances, because you do have the seeing eye, it is very psychic in nature, but you're projecting to the future. As long as you're not allowing that to scare you, it can be beneficial. But I do see both of you guys by the second week, you'll see the reasons why maybe you're not seeing eye to eye, and you'll find a creative solution. But I do feel by the third week, these things can flow. The reason I'm saying that is because with your vitality, any circumstances that you personally have been trying to change, and it does feel like a very personal month, although there is a lot of romance for Libra this month. So, and when I say a lot of romance, we're setting the reset button. There is a reset button when it comes to what we can and can't do, how we feel and how we don't. Again, you have so many fives on the table. You're ready to. It's almost like a level up energy, but you've had the epiphanies. You've already had the meditation to do with this. Nothing's for nothing. You're utilizing what you have and what you can do. You're also taking great responsibility in the steps you do take, because after adversity, you know that causing pain upon another person, if it has been kind of exhibited to you, you're not wanting that same pattern. You're breaking a cycle. So with the vitality, strength and balance, again, for some of you, it can be you actually spending very quiet time with a love interest. For others of you, this can be also recuperation, but it's also tapping into your passions, tapping into the things that you want and getting those things done. You will find by the third week it's really great for analytics and our psychology. Also do create those healthy boundaries when it does come to what you've learned during this month, how you want to change these things about. But again, in a partnership energy, even the mutual energy in love is passion. So you're both going to be on the same wavelength. It's kind of amusing. Yeah, going into hermit mode, investing in the pleasures of life, looking at what you need to do. Now, it says invest in your spirit. It's more joint energy. This also can be a circumstance where you are effectively correcting things, because it's in the fives. It's like, okay, what do we need to know? Let's be very disciplined. How can we move these things forward? Am I healthy? Do I need to get my diet in check? What do I need to change? But it does feel like massive changes by the third week in an implementation set. So yes, you may, it's like starting from scratch, but it's not. It's a fresh start. So this fresh start reset's coming through by the third week. You will have the strength to make those changes because it is in the upright, and so too will this love interest very separately and connectedly, that these things can be for the bigger picture. Now, Aquarius is the bigger picture. It's the interconnections of all things. It's bringing it full circle. That's why I think it's really beautiful that we've had this Mercury retrograde, giving us an opportunity to see what isn't flowing and what can and how we can shift that about. And I do feel for you, you're already implementing it well and truly before the third week. So I do feel romance is on fire. But this month is really showing you where the conflict is. It's like, okay, and not necessarily the arguments, the disputes. I feel Libra is really going to be quite cautious about that. You're a great communicator. You're very balanced when you see that. But it's not to the detriment to your health. That's sort of what's coming through. It's like, right, what does serve me, what doesn't? You know, onus is with that power we have, what we do with it through our wisdom. We can't change other people. We can lead a horse to water. We can't make it drink. But I do feel there are big changes. I don't feel it's a similar circumstance. Similar in a sense that the way you're handling things is not the same anymore. So you're not going to get the same cake. Einstein said, really, if you take the same vibration and you try to solve it with the same vibration, you're only going to get the same outcome. So if you're coming to the circumstance differently, you're definitely going to get a different outcome. Now, on the fourth week, both in love and your general life, I do see connections being a huge subject. This can be in a sense of networking. Some of you can have a lot of work coming through. There can be a lot of finances. There can be a lot of hopes and dreams and aspirations work towards, and it is heart chakra. Your heart chakra, however, I feel that it's almost like, please don't take offense. I'm being very selective about what I pour my energy into. And the funny thing is, I'm feeling this is you and your love interest, but it's you in your masculine and feminine energy in your own life. It's like, sorry, not sorry, but it's not that you're doing anything narcissistically. You're looking at where the value is. Okay, what do I need to do over here? Great. is the give and take there. If it's not, you're not going to take it personal. Okay, I've got X, Y, and Z to do. You're being correct in your assumptions. You're being educated, loving, compassionate when you deal with these things. And there could be, again, a connection-related dynamic that plays out. Both of them are equal to an 8, and the 8 is no regrets. We're putting energy into this. We choose to, we choose not to. But again, it is coming from a loving point of view. Sometimes we can view love in a very unique way. I had a coaching session the other day with a client, and we always talk about, hey, if we're good, you know, our mother teaches us, if you're good, the ice cream truck's coming, you're going to get an ice cream. Even when you are good, doesn't mean to say everything goes perfectly, but it's not an offensive thing. It's a perspective, plus it's a reality. The ice cream truck broke down, didn't mean you weren't good. So sometimes we can feel, heck, you know, I'm doing the right thing, so why aren't things flowing? It's not a personal thing. It can be an external reason. So I feel your external personal reasons for making your choices by the end of the month, there's no apologies, but it's coming from a place of love. You're also looking at that Plutonian energy. It's like, I don't see the fidelity in it. It's like, it's not going to last, so I've got to let it go. This can be a wound. It can be subjects relating to family, kin, your interconnections. It can be looking at your contracts, but you're going to be changing things. It can feel a little bit by mid-month testing. I'll only say testing because it's a bit like a soul walk-in. It is a rebirth of Libra. So, you know, within this romantic connection, this person's coming through very passionately, wanting to be co-creative with you. This can be launching things. It can be where they're on the same plate as you, so to speak, and you're seeing things. But again, they can also be creating healthy boundaries on their side of the fence with children. And that can be with yours, with theirs, or just point blank zero. Looking at you like your tribe, dealing with you like a tribe, being on the same wavelength. Yeah, ready to go. Like, okay, let's do this. And it feels like a let's do this month. But it is by mid-month. I do feel conversations. I do see seeing perspectives. I also see the choice and the work to do of what will need to change and how you get there, as well as then sort of like a celebration. Some of you also can have news that is very positive by the second and third week. And I do feel it's relating to this as well, both in your love life and external. I will see you during the month for your love, very separately. Love does look to be quite passionate and good. We will tune into it further week by week. I will see you on the other side, and please stay tuned for these messages coming up, as well as we do have twin flame readings. And when I said monthly, throughout the month, okay? Coaching sessions are done very separately, which I do during the readings, but the coaching section is in the member zone. And that's so if you want to talk about something that's very personal to you, you have the intimacy of that closed room that we can talk about those things without judgment. Love and light. I'll see you soon. Stay tuned for these messages. Now, a very punchy update. We do have, as I said, the member zone. Very separately, please click the bell because I will put the info in the community tab when the romance reads are up, and also when I do come to you live for the twin flame, the astrology updates, the moon energies and more. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, we do have the member zone, as I mentioned, and it will have in the future, it already has pre-release videos for the zodiacs. Very separately, we also will have the extension reads in there and the twin flame coaching. Also, if you're needing a booking, the link is directly below. Otherwise, feel free to join me for the super chats during the month. I answer your questions at the end of all videos. Love and light, guys. I'll talk to you soon.